Hey guys, Ben here with part 2 of our Sunday school lesson, which I started last week on desire, the desire of your heart, which is what we're talking about specifically. Psalm 37:4 says, delight yourself in the Lord, and he will give you the desires of your heart. I want to recall for you a time in my life when I was delighted to watch a basketball game. This was about 8 years ago. The Cleveland Cavaliers, my team, I was born in Cleveland, had finally made the NBA Finals, and they were in a position to potentially win the game. And I was actually on a mission trip at the time, very inconvenient for my basketball watching purposes. But when I found out that they were in the finals and they would be playing what could be the winning game that night, I asked this pastor's wife and pastor if they wouldn't mind if I used their television in the middle of the mission trip so I could watch this game. So I actually built my mission trip around this night. So I got my whole team there. We had 15 kids and 3 adults all there in this pastor's house that night. We did some landscaping for him in the morning, and we sort of raked their yard, chopped down a few trees, played with their kids, cleaned their house. And then that night, my game was going to start. And it all fell silent. I was solely focused on this game. Mission trip fell to the background. I was delighted to be able to watch my beloved Cleveland Cavaliers go to what would be their very first championship in franchise history. They won the NBA Finals, and I got to watch it live on the mission field. I was delighted to watch. I pursued the ability to be able to watch them, and I made it happen because I love basketball and I love the Cavs, and I needed to be there in case they won, and they did. So the first thing I want to sort of address today in part 2 of our delight discussion for Sunday school is what is delight? Well, I mean, I've just described for you something that I delight in, which is of this world, and it's a little bit embarrassing. But man, I pursued that with all my heart, soul, and mind. I delighted in basketball and in the NBA Finals, and I pursued it. I made it happen. I looked forward to that game, and by golly, I enjoyed it. That sort of delight is what the Lord wants from us. He wants us to delight the time that we will spend with Him, whether it's in prayer or in reading His Word or at church or Sunday school or youth group, or helping the needy, or giving away your money, your possessions, things that glorify God. These are the things that we often fail to do as human beings. We delight in what we see and what we know and what we wear and where we go. We might delight in a holiday or a new car or new shirt or shoes, like I mentioned last week. We tend to delight in those things more. But it will never work. It's a bottomless pit. That pursuit of delight in earthly things. Just to stick with my example, my delight in the NBA and in my team, the Cavs, is now not delight. They've lost LeBron James, the best basketball player of our era. Happy to talk to you later if you don't agree with that. The best basketball player alive at the moment. And we have lost him, and our team totally stinks. My delight in that team is no longer. So hopefully we get to build back up and be good one day. But right now there is no delight in watching my team. But the Bible talks about this delight in our hearts. And I wanted to read you a couple more scriptures today. One of them is from Jeremiah 17:9. And this is what it says about our hearts. It says, "The heart is deceitful above all things and desperately sick. Who can understand it?" And what does that mean? It means your own heart cannot be trusted when you look to it for what you should desire. When you look to yourself and say, "Self, what is it that I desire? What should I be pursuing night and day? What should I lose sleep over? What should I get excited about what I'm about to do?" And the answer is, you have a sinful heart. So do I. And so when we look to our heart, oftentimes it will deceive us. We will be more excited. We will desire things that aren't healthy. And this can be really seen in Hollywood, you guys. Hollywood often is separate from the Bible. Not all the time. There are some great people in Hollywood. Kirk Cameron is sort of the poster boy for Hollywood celebrities who pursue the Lord as well. But the list of celebrities that have fallen off the deep end, that have just gone off the rails after achieving the desires of their heart, but their heart has deceived them, is never ending. I made a little list here just as examples. I'm sure you guys could come up with some more. First, a great quote by my favorite actor, who is Jim Carrey. The quote says, "I think everybody should get rich and famous and do everything they ever dreamed of so that they can see that it's not the answer." That's Jim Carrey, a guy who has made hundreds of millions of dollars in his career. And he is good looking. He is healthy as far as I know. And he's got everything and been able to do everything that is in his heart's desire. But he is making this comment saying, guys, there's more to life than just stuff. The Christian author and famous author, C.S. Lewis, said a very similar thing. It says, God cannot give us happiness and peace apart from himself, because it is not there. There is no such thing. Imagine that. C.S. Lewis took it one step further. He said, the reason why God will never give you happiness apart from himself is it's not real. It's fake. Satan, the enemy, tempts us to try to find happiness in things that aren't God. But we know the truth, which is that we can't find it because it's not there. C.S. Lewis says, there is no such thing. God designed humans to find our pleasure and our fulfillment in him and in him alone. All other pleasures have their proper place only in relation to this overarching delight in the Lord. As Paul wrote in 1 Corinthians 10:31, whether you eat or drink, whatever you do, do it all to the glory of God. So guys, this is saying it's not a sin to have good stuff, to want a nice car or great clothes or whatever it is that you desire, painting or new pens or pencils for your school or a new iPad, any of that. Those things aren't sinful in and of themselves, but if that is the desire, the thing that gets you out of bed in the morning, that's the thing that charges you up, it's more like idol worship. You're sort of worshiping this thing rather than God. You desire that thing. So when we look at Hollywood, as I mentioned earlier, some of the people who have really come unstuck as they achieved what they thought that was the desire of their heart. Justin Bieber, Lindsay Lohan, Britney Spears, Michael Jackson, Shia LaBeouf, Macaulay Culkin, Marilyn Monroe if you're older. These are guys and girls who achieved fame. They achieved wealth. They're all really good-looking people. And when you Google them, they look great. There are photos of them rich and famous and handsome and attractive and beautiful. But they got into things like substance abuse, depression, anxiety. They took drugs to help compensate for the way that they viewed themselves. They weren't able to buy with money what they sought, what they wanted. Why? Because, guys, we're made in God's image, and we won't find happiness and true happiness outside of God himself. The fruits of the Spirit: love, joy, peace, patience, goodness, kindness, gentleness, and self-control. Those things are worthy of pursuing, but not by way of materialism. So I'm going to close today's Sunday school lesson with a challenge for you guys. I want to challenge you over this holiday period sometime, as you have some time with family and to reflect, and you're going to be getting lots of stuff at Christmas for sure, hopefully. I hope that you do. But I want to challenge you to make a list of things that you truly desire from God. I want you to think about what God actually offers in the Bible. Start with the fruits of the Spirit, as I just mentioned: love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, gentleness, self-control. Make a list of something that you truly desire from God. Then, part 2, set about trying to pursue it, trying to go get it. Ask God for it, like you ask Santa for some gifts, or your parents, if you ask your parents for gifts, or like I did with that basketball game. I made it so that I could watch it. I looked forward to watching that game, and I got what I wanted. I got the game, and I was excited to watch it. But maybe prepare yourself to approach God in a delighted way. Look forward to the time that you spend with the Lord. Ask Him for something that He can give you, and hope and pray that He gives it to you. And don't give up until you get it, because you guys, it is time well spent. It is biblical, it is godly, and when you get the true desires of your heart, I know you won't regret it. You will love it more than that thing that you're going to get at Christmas time. Guys, I love you. I miss you, and I hope you have a great holiday period. Hope to see you really soon in 2021 when we all forgot about coronavirus. Hopefully. See you guys.